Welcome once again to Musings by Danon. Today we're going to take a bit of a different approach regarding our commander content. Rather than building around a concept and adding cards that fit the theme, instead I'm going to show you the process I went through building a deck around a single card, Lightning Angel. Lightning Angel is a 4-mana Jeskai 3/4 angel with flying, vigilance, and haste. It is one of my favorite cards of all time, painted by the amazing R.K. Post. When I was first getting into Commander, I wanted to build an Angel deck, but the best Angel commanders do not include blue. You've got good Boros, Orzhov, and mono white options for your commander, but I finally settled on Kaalia as my commander. I asked my wife for the From the Vault Angels box set for Christmas a few years ago, and ended up putting 12 of them into my Kaalia deck initially. I've since evolved Kaalia into a rather scary deck with dragons and demons as well as angels, but I could never find a home for my beloved Lightning Angel. That is, until Commander Legends came out. During spoiler season, one card in particular stood out to me. Akroma, Vision of Ixidor is a 7-mana 6/6 legendary angel with flying, first strike, vigilance, and trample. She also gives each other creature I control +1/+1 until end of turn for each of the following keywords: flying, first strike, double strike, death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, protection, reach, trample, vigilance, and partner. She also has partner, which means I could pair Akroma with either of the Izzet partner commanders, Crom or Ludevic. I eventually settled on Crom because he draws more cards than Ludevic. Crom, Ludevic's Opus, is a 5-mana legendary 4/4 zombie horror with flying and haste. In addition to having partner, he also lets us draw a card whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn. So Akroma has the advantage of buffing our army exponentially, assuming our creatures have enough keywords. With Akroma on board, Lightning Angel goes from a 3/4 to a 6/7. If you add Lyra Dawnbringer, she goes up to a very respectable 8/9. I could have continued down this path and tried to build a word salad tribal deck, which is a more common way to build Akroma, but I felt that some light stacks or pillow fort was the better path to take. After all, our commander is 7 mana, so we want to slow the game down a bit in order to build up our board state, as well as setting up for a big swing. Remember, Akroma triggers every combat, so a couple of extra combat steps in the deck go a long way to finishing off our opponents. Which got me thinking over which stacks pieces we want to go with. One of the most common keywords in Angels is Vigilance. Ever since Sarah Angel was printed in Alpha, that keyword is associated with Angels more than any other, flying being the exception, of course. So if attacking doesn't cause our creatures to tap, what if we took away the ability for our opponents to untap their creatures? Or at least made sure they came into play tapped. So now we have our commanders, our build-around card, and our theme. Let's keep in mind our checklist before we actually get into building the deck. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. So for stacks pieces that tap our opponent's creatures or other permanents, I've included a blind obedience and an authority of the consuls. And to ensure their creatures don't untap, we have Dreamtides, Embargo, and Frozen Aether. Yes, a few of these are redundant, but redundancy isn't a bad thing in Commander. Now we want our opponents to cast more spells so we can draw more cards off of Crom, so cards like God Pharaoh's Statue and Rule of Law wouldn't make sense as stacks pieces. However, we can run some other fun stacks pieces like Confounding Conundrum to keep green in its place, Ashes of the Abhorrent for graveyard hate, and Tidal Barracuda to ensure we're left alone on our turn. We could add more stacks pieces, but this isn't a stack deck. All we want to do is slow our opponents down enough so that we can mercifully murder them with our army of angels. For spot removal, we're running a Braid, Disenchant, Generous Gift, and Return to Dust. Our counter magic package includes Arcane Denial, Dobin's Veto, and Negate. Commit Memory combines card draw, graveyard hate, and counter magic all in one neat little package. Cleansing Wildfire can remove annoying or overpowered lands or be used as a ramp piece when we target our own bridges. Boros Charm is a flexible answer, but will most often be used as protection. For additional protection, we're running Swiftfoot Boots, Unbreakable Formation, and Make a Stand. Akroma's Will, along with Response Resurgent, are our sudden I win cards. And for board wipes, we're running the flexible Cleansing Nova and the old reliable Blasphemous Act. Since our commander draws us cards, I felt we could go a little light on card advantage. In addition to the already mentioned Cleansing Wildfire and Commit Memory, we've got Sun Titan, Frantic Search, Wheel of Misfortune, and Windfall. Teferi's Ageless Insight pairs nicely with Crom, and finally Whirlwind of Thought rounds us out. I know this isn't a Spellslinger deck, but we are running more than twice as many non-creature spells than we are creature spells. Speaking of creatures, here are the ones that have Vigilance, either built in or as a trigger. Of course, we have the key card in the deck, Lightning Angel. Along with that, we have Mantis Rider, Aurelia Exemplar of Justice, Angel of Invention, Baneslayer Angel, Herald of the Host, the original Sarah Angel, Bruna Light of Alabaster, Sarah's Guardian, Akroma Angel of Wrath, and Keyword Soup himself, Zatalpa Primal Dawn. Yes, he may be 8 mana, but if you can put a Swiftfoot Boots on Zatalpa, and you have Akroma Vision of Ixidor on board, Zatalpa swings in for a frightening 22 damage. Finally, though technically a vehicle rather than a creature, we have Parhelion II. If Akroma is on board, it swings in for an impressive 16 damage. Remember, Akroma triggers at the beginning of combat, and the angels don't get created until you're already attacking. Now, there are several other creatures that work well with our angel theme. To start, we've got Valkyrie Harbinger, Akroma Angel of Fury, Herald of War, which also doubles as mana ramp for most of our creatures, and Guardian Seraph. Our last creature, and our third Sudden I Win card under the right circumstances, is Audric Lunarch Marshal. I'm sure you've noticed, but a lot of these cards are rather mana intensive. So to help cast our spells, we have 2 colorless mana rocks in Worn Power Stone and Soul Ring. Talisman of Progress is $12 at the moment, so instead I'm running an Azorius Locket alongside Talisman of Conviction and Talisman of Creativity. We've also got the 3 diamonds in the Guild Signets, along with a Commander Sphere and an Arcade Signet to round things out. For our land base, we are heavily skewed towards white in our deck. Normally, in a 3-color deck, I like to make sure that we are running an even split for all our dual-colored lands. But in this case, we have more white pips than red and blue combined. So other than the aforementioned Artifact Bridge lands, we're running 3 Guild Gates and 3 typed Snow Duels from Kaldheim. This means that with the exception of basics, there are only 3 lands in our deck that cannot tap or fetch for white mana. Alongside the usual Exotic Orchard and Command Tower, we've got Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse for color fixing, as well as a Mystic Monastery. Floodplain and Grasslands serve as budget fetch lands that can search for either basics or typed dual lands, a Battlefield Forge, a Prairie Stream, a Lorehold Campus, and a Nimbus Maze. Finally, we're running 9 plains, 4 islands, and 4 mountains. So let's see how our deck compares to the checklist. 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, right where we want to be. Only 9 pieces of card advantage, but one of them is in our command zone, so that's fine. 10 pieces of spot removal, including counterspells, 2 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 3 Sudden I Win cards. All in all, not bad for only $100. So let's say you build this deck and you end up loving it as much as I do. You want to improve on it, but you don't have an unlimited budget. Let's say you want to spend about a year on it, and limit yourself to about $20 a week on cards. Within about a year, your deck could look something like this. Fetches, shocks, check lands, and bond lands. Better interaction like Swords to Plowshares or Teferi's Protection. Better mana acceleration with cards like Talisman of Progress, Pearl Medallion, and Smothering Tithe. Stronger, cheaper stacks pieces like Meekstone, the Immortal Sun, and Storage Matrix. Better card draw with Rhystic Study and Consecrated Sphinx. And stronger angels in Lyra Dawnbringer, Aurelia the Warleader, and Avacyn Angel of Hope. All in all, this is one of my favorite decks. There aren't a lot of people out there who have a Jeskai Angels deck, and I'm proud of this creation. I really enjoy playing it at my local game store and at home with my family. It is strong, consistent, and has enough interaction to slow my opponents down, and enough stacks to slow the game down without locking people down completely, which is what I want in a deck with high mana cost creatures. Thanks for tuning in. If you have a suggestion for a build-around card, please leave a comment below. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. Please like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all again next time.